everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills Housing Update. Today I have June numbers to report as well as some interesting numbers from last week's sales. So, diving into our year-over-year numbers. In June of 2022, our average price point was $1,179,000. We are actually down over 5% year-over-year, and this month's average price was $1,119,000. That surprises me. I thought we would push closer to the 1.2, but we had a lot of sales under 700,000 this month. It was surprising. Tons of apartment, condo, townhomes, even a couple of freehold properties sold under 700,000. And that really is going to pull down our average price. Another notable thing is we're actually down 5.7% since May. I was talking the last 2 weeks about how things were starting to feel a little bit different, and it's really interesting to see how far we've come since May. May of 2023 and June of 2022 were almost identical numbers. They were off by $7,000. So those 2 months compared to this past month, we're just not as strong. And so to see our prices going backwards this month is interesting, and it could be an indicator that things are starting to soften. In terms of units sold though, last June was so quiet. Like, we were really in the heat of people taking a pause. So we're actually up units 20%. So we went last year 72 units, we sold 87 units this year. It's no surprise that where interest rates are at this time right now compared to last year, that our lower price point is still moving very rapidly. So that is pulling our pricing down a bit. I just thought with the amount of stuff we saw sell over 1.3 million that we might feel that average price get pulled up, but we are down over 5%. So that's where our numbers landed both year over year and then month over month compared to last month. So looking at what happened last week in Georgetown, we only had 9 sales. That is a very low number for what we've been seeing. It's an average number for Georgetown. It's actually within our normal pocket, but compared to what we've been seeing, 9 sales is definitely a soften. And we only had 14 new listings. So we had more new listings than sales, so that's good for inventory, but the amount of sales we're seeing, 9, is showing that buyer demand is not off the charts. We got over 20 on a couple of weeks in May. So to see only 9 is maybe another indicator that things might be shifting here a bit. In Acton, there was 3 sales and 2 new listings. So Acton is still moving. And then Glen Williams, Limehouse, and the rural market all had the same results. No new listings and 1 sale in each of those markets. So another notable thing is that 6 properties came completely off the market. They terminated and didn't re-enter at a new price. So that also is going to keep inventory a little bit at bay this week. I think the more interesting thing, I'm not surprised to see our inventory not spiking. It's just that time of year. What I am surprised to see is our low sales count. It seems like things are shifting here a bit. So looking at active inventory, last week Halton Hills had 134 active listings. This week we're at 136. So just a slight jump. I would consider that pretty stable. Georgetown went from 79 to 82 active listings in Georgetown. 82, we have not seen that number since 2022. That is not a super high number for Georgetown, but it's definitely not low. We are seeing this number week to week go up now. We are not seeing it jump by 10, 15 listings, but to see it going up again, all these little things are indicating that something is changing here, because we normally, if we had 82 listings, a month ago, we would have seen 25 sales. And so it's just showing buyer demand is shifting a bit. Looking at our active price points, under 800,000 dropped significantly from 8 to 4 active listings. And like I said, we saw a ton of stuff selling in that price point. Everything that's coming up in that price point is selling. Buyers' buying power with these interest rates is just scaled back. And so that's why those lower price points are really moving. An interesting one is 800 to a million. That's been pretty stable, and we went from 14 active listings to 20 active listings in that price point. What will be interesting to see is if those move this week, because if we start to see inventory pile on at 800 to a million, which is a very active price point in Georgetown, that is going to be bad news like all around, because if those stop moving, everything else is going to stop moving. A million to 1.5 million is up slightly from 18 to 19 active listings. So again, it's on the climb, but not dramatic. 1.5 million plus is sitting insanely high at 39 active listings. It has not changed from last week, but 39 active listings over 1.5 million is a massive amount of our active inventory sitting in a very high price pocket. I mean, it's almost half of our inventory over 1.5 million. So if you are in that price point, you might be in for a long haul here trying to find a buyer who's willing, because they have tons of options available. Looking at Acton this week, Acton is down from 15 to 13 active listings. Glen Williams is down from 9 to 8. They had one of those 6 properties that came off the market was there. Limehouse went up from 3 to 4 active listings. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot at 4, but like that is huge inventory for Limehouse. And the rural market went up from 28 to 29 active listings. So the theme of this week is we are seeing inventory climb, and it just feels like things are changing a bit. And I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. The demand is just different. I'm not surprised by where our actual market numbers are. I am surprised where the June numbers landed there. We're down quite a bit. And so our higher price points, like when we're looking at 40, almost 40 active listings over 1.5 million, if those things aren't moving, it's going to keep our average price lower because the lower price point stuff is still moving. In May, we saw a ton of sales over 1.5 million and it pulled everything up. So what we're feeling right now in the market is definitely lower buyer demand. The sales are showing that we are nowhere near the levels of buyer demand that we had a month ago. And we have inventory available for them to buy. And so all of these things are just pointing towards a changing market. Again, I don't think that's going to happen like overnight, but week to week, we're starting to see inventory sort of climb. If we're not seeing high sales, then all of these factors are going to like just change the market. So I'm watching this really closely. June's numbers surprised me. So it will be interesting to see what happens in July. If we don't see a ton of listings come up, there's a good chance with buyers still out there that we have a good month in July, but if inventory continues to rise through July, we're gonna be in for a very long summer because the buyer demand just is not keeping up with new listings. So I'll be back next Tuesday to see what happens the first week of July. Have a great week, everyone.